Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hello.
Welcome to another weekly Wednesday live stream. I'm Peter. This
My
is
name is
Eric.
Eric.
Today, we're going to be talking to you about the RTX 2070 cards.
Brand new.
Yep. So I'm going to be presenting you the cards, showing you the cards, giving you a bit of more information. Eric will be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions, ask them in the chat. Feel free. Eric will pick out the questions and ask me the best questions that we can get in the stream.
Or if there are any bad questions.
Yeah, you
Or
also like
technical
those
questions.
right? Yeah,
Well, I know you like them.
personal questions.
Yeah.
He especially likes those.
Yeah.
Anyway, so don't be afraid to ask your questions. We also have a giveaway today, so maybe you can show it in the slide.
Yeah.
There we go. So today as well, you can win the multiple Steam wallet codes, $20 wallet codes. So don't miss out on those. Go to msi.com/2/insider. There should be a button there somewhere like on my chest. I think I'm wearing a blue shirt on the web page.
If it's
so
not working, control refresh. And otherwise, I will also post the link directly. Yeah, for those when it's not working.
There you go. So hopefully everybody can have a chance to win. Just follow the instructions that you get then. And
Win what?
$20 Steam codes.
Cool.
So there you go. It's always useful for items or games. All right, so let's go back. So basically, what we're going to do today is, of course, it's about RTX 2070. So we're going to do a few things today. We're going to show you the Gaming Z or Gaming Z, depending on where you're from, and the Armor card, which is also here. Well, I'm more of a British person, so I would say Z.
I'm always Gaming Z.
Yeah, so that's the American
and
way
X.
of saying
There's no difference between X, right?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I don't think so. Anyway, so I'm going to be showing you these two cards. I'm going to be unboxing them for you, a bit of a close-up view. I'm going to show you some benchmarks as well of what you can expect, both from 2070 compared to other cards that are close to it, as well as these two cards compared to each other, because there's a difference. Later on, I'm also going to be building the Gaming Z into a rig here live, and then showing you how to overclock, because we've also got a really cool new feature in Afterburner, which is called OC Scanner. And basically, it just makes overclocking easy peasy, guys. And it's like easy, free performance. So if you have a 20 series card...
Everybody likes overclocking, right?
Well, everybody likes free performance.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not everybody's into overclocking, but I mean, free performance.
But with Afterburner and with this new OC scanner, it's very easy. It just finds out the maximum limit, and
that's the thing. Yeah, it basically does the overclocking process for you. It's automated. It's completely safe, by the way.
I would do marketing like this is AI overclocking.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to market it like it's free performance, guys. So just do it if you have the card.
I already shipped some questions. Oh, a lot of questions. 2080 Ti, when is it available? I mean, somebody is asking for Holland, but I think
it's already available, officially, obviously, but I don't think it's a secret that there are some quantity issues, or how do you say it? So basically...
Volume is still very low. So, what we basically are doing, we have a lot of SKUs. Later we will talk about that in a lineup. We first produced the Duke and the Gaming X Trio. Oh, so there is a difference.
Yeah. So Trio. There's also both. I mean, both is actually okay to say. But...
Yeah. So those two for sure are in production. I think you can also find Seahawk already on the market. But compared, Ventus as well.
Anyway, we'll show you an overview later.
Compared to the 2080. And let's say compared to 2080, the volume, of 2080 Ti is quite small. So I think on our website you find where to buy, check with the resellers, and call with them if they really get stock, and make a reservation, because otherwise, and this will take some period. It's now still the ramp up phase, and it will take some months, maybe weeks, months, until there is enough production to supply the whole market. And then at one moment, you can see them on stock in the stores. Yeah. And then it's you don't have to make a reservation.
Yeah. So we know about the situation. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do. It's a supply issue basically. So there's more demand than supply at the moment.
Yeah, somebody asking about 2080 Duke. It should be enough supply. Well, not enough,
It depends on the region. To be honest.
So
it can differ.
Edward, I'm not sure where you're from, but it depends on the region. But that should be quite okay. Maybe show us the new thing. What we
Yeah,
got.
so indeed. So before actually I'm going into all the 2070 goodness, I'm going to show you something that just came in earlier this week, and I wanted to share with you guys. We weren't able to show it earlier, so let's do it now. First, I'll show you the box it comes in, and there we go. So I don't know if you guys can see it, actually.
Unboxing.
This was the fastest unboxing I ever did. I hope you clocked it. Yeah, so it's the new, well, I always called it SLI bridge, but technically now I think it's called the RTX NVLink GPU bridge. Yeah, we can show it in a close-up maybe. Oh, here we go. Oh, actually, it's got nice green on it. So as you can see, that's here.
Should I?
It's
No,
the
we
chroma
said
key.
yeah, we said we're not going to fix it in this view.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. So it's the NVLink bridge. This is the box. It's quite a small box, as you can see. And yeah, we took it out. I can show it to you. We actually made a little bit of a static setup, so it's not on, not functioning.
Yeah, and basically we will have two different. I still call them SLI bridges. Any problem with that?
No, I don't. I think everybody does.
Yeah, so we have basically two different SLI bridges for 20 series. One is how to describe. You know, one is 2 slot, the other one 3 slots.
Oh yeah, so it's the space in between the graphics card. So if I turn this thing this way, I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but so you can see it on the top. Maybe you can point it out while I try to hold it.
Yeah. So here's the SLI bridge. Later we will take it off.
There you go.
And this is basically the space between 2 VGA cards. So this one is 2 slots. So the next VGA card is
actually I think it's 3.
Yeah, but
slots.
we call it 2 slots. Actually, we have names like M and S, XL, right?
In the past we did, yeah.
So and maybe this one.
Actually, I don't know if there's. I think we just have
this one is not specified.
Yeah, so honestly, I think there's just one version at the moment.
No, we have to.
Well, actually, it does at the side. It says how many slots.
Oh yeah, 3 slots.
3 slots.
Yeah,
there you go.
3 slots. So there will also be, I think, a 4 slot. So there is more space between, but it will only be for 2 GPUs because 20 series, like 10 series, maximum 2 GPUs, maximum 2 RTX VGA cards.
Yeah.
And I think recently, you know, on the last few weeks, you saw more and more reviews online for the SLI bridge. And with this, with two 2080s, two 2080 Ti's, you know, it's a beast, you know, 4K in amazing resolutions with all the graphical details on there. So maybe...
see if I can show you guys the front view as well, if you have the motherboard itself with the cards on it. As you can see, it fits really nicely with the shapes as well. Wait a minute, this side. So just the design of it basically. It's very subtle, very tight, nice design, clean.
It's difficult to show.
But you know, with the Ace motherboard, for example, especially our new motherboards that we showed a few weeks ago, the Z390 and stuff. Yeah, I think it fits really nicely. It has some RGB LEDs included here, but they are very subtle.
We were too lazy to take a big power supply to power these on.
Again, we just got these in, I believe, earlier today or maybe yesterday. So yeah, we wanted to show it, but to dedicate a whole stream to it was a bit extreme. But yeah, I mean, looks pretty nice.
Yeah, maybe we take it off and we show it separately.
Yep. Yeah, it does fit on very tightly.
Yeah. So basically this is the bridge.
I'll just take this one back here.
And it says on the back also MSI Nvidia NVLink. And as you can see in the past, this one was much smaller. The bandwidth, the connector on top for the SLI. So now there's much more bandwidth. And really, you know, if you go into those high resolutions like 4K, you're going
HDR.
to use HDR, etc. You're going to use all those latest technologies. You need basically a lot of bandwidth.
And remember, with the bandwidth, right now it's just rasterization. When we get to actually using ray tracing, that will probably also increase the bandwidth being used. Yeah. I would expect.
On the internet there is a slide, I saw it from the Nvidia event, it's published on a couple of sites to show you the difference between bandwidth you needed in the 900 series, in the 10 series or 1000 series, whatever, and the 20 series, the RTX 20 series. So you see the bandwidth demand is really much more, and that's why we have again a new SLI
It's pretty much exponentially, right? It's the same thing with the resolution upscaling. So we went from full HD to 1440p to 4K and beyond. And so the amount of data and the bandwidth you need to process all that basically just ramps up exponentially. So yeah, the hardware, of course, needed to support that. Needs to be able to handle that. So that's why the NVLink bridges are now
so here you see the
in play.
the LED on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
it's
little
green,
bit
obviously.
green screen. Looks like it's like on the music flashing.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, so but it's RGB.
it can,
so
with Mystic Light, it can sync between all the different components in your PC.
yes, exactly. So nice little new thing there. But 2070 is the topic of today, and just to be clear, guys, these can only be used on 2080 and 2080 Ti at the moment. So 2070 actually does not support multiple GPU setup. You cannot use the NVLink or SLI setup on 2070. Just to be clear. All right. So, any questions about this little monster?
No questions?
No questions?
Yeah, a lot of give me one, cool.
Yeah, obviously. And of course the 2 GPUs to go with it, right? I mean, there's no point in just having the bridge.
Well, maybe something to continue with. Will Gaming X be good?
Will Gaming X be good?
Yeah.
I think it's not different from what you're used to. So yes, the answer would be it will be pretty good.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Well, there's Gaming Z here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, maybe we need to explain that.
Z. Yeah, maybe a little bit. So let's first maybe take a little step back, and explain to you guys about Turing and the other one.
Turing, yeah. Sorry.
About Turing and so basically at the moment we have 3 GPUs in Turing. You see the GPUs, they have different code names as mentioned above: TU 106, 104, 102. 102 is the highest one, is 2080 Ti. You can also see that from the 2070 to 2080 to 2080 Ti, it increases the number of CUDA cores, which are some of the render cores. Quite big increase to 2080 Ti, so that explains also partly the performance difference. Even some of the new things I included there, so the tensor cores, those are basically the AI cores that are doing all the AI shading stuff, and will be more and more important as time goes by into ray tracing. Also, there you see a very big increase, the bigger the chip and the higher the chip, basically. RT, or ray tracing cores, also a very important thing. So if you're looking into doing ray tracing, yes, the 2070 does have ray tracing cores, so it does do that. However, you can see it has, about half the number of cores of the 2080 Ti. So if you want ray tracing performance, then obviously 2080 Ti is still much better than 2070 at that specific thing. Core clocks, you can see, there are some differences there. But core clocks, to be honest, depends a lot on the GPU die itself and how effective it is. So the core clocks by itself, if you see this, you would think, well, the 2080 is the fastest, right? Because it has the highest core clocks, and then 2070 and then 2080 Ti. Well, obviously that's not true. But it's nice to note. And these are, by the way, the stock clocks. So what you will also see is that 2070, please note, this one is mentioned, it has 1620 megahertz as a boost clock. I can promise you that we are going to pass that by far today. The VRAM, obviously not a big surprise. Both 2070 and 2080 have 8 gigs of GDDR6, and the 2080 Ti has 11 gigs of GDDR6. TDP, this is also important to keep in mind, and which is also why you will notice that in the next slide, 2080 and 2080 Ti, we had a lot of cards which have triple fan coolers, 3 fans. 2070, because the TDP is also quite a bit lower, that's why you will see that we have there, again, the return of the twin frozer, so the 2-fan
Everybody was asking, hey, what about twin frozer? What about twin frozer when we launched 20 series?
Yeah.
We already knew the plan.
Yeah.
Actually, we already showed it in our first live stream for RTX, but only for those who were watching live, because later we cut it out.
We had to edit it out later.
Yeah, we showed it a little bit too early, but those who are watching regularly, they had a sneak peek.
Yeah, you had an exclusive preview.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, we always want to make sure that the card that we offer adheres to our goals, which is, you need to be able to push it, so play hard, and it needs to be silent and cool. So that's the stay silent part. Anyway, to do that on the 2080 and 2080 Ti, to be able to guarantee that, the 3-fan solution is by far the best. Also because the PCB there is a bit bigger than the 2070. So that's why on the 2070, that was the perfect opportunity for us to say, okay, so here's actually where the 2-fan solution, the twin frozer, will perform the best, basically. And 3 fans, we can do that. We have a Duke included in the lineup. However, 3 fans is kind of a bit overkill, at least with our cooling. I don't know how it is for our competitors, but we chose to go for 2 fans most of the way. And from the reviews I've seen so far, excellent choice. I mean, it barely reaches 65, maybe 70 degrees if you're really pushing it, but that's nothing to write home about, you know. Thermal throttling doesn't, I think, even start until like 80 degrees or something. So, and then, I mean, you can still turn up the fan profile because that's when you leave everything on auto. And the fans, remember, the fans don't even really start spinning until you reach like 60 degrees. So anyway, if you guys wanted to know, hey, why is there a difference between on a 2070 you've got 2 fans, and then on a 2080 and 2080 Ti you suddenly got the 3 fans? That's why. It's basically to do with the amount of heat that needs to be dissipated, and a 3-fan solution is bigger, is heavier, but can also get rid of more heat. On a 2070, yeah, we can do 3 fans on it, as you can see with the Duke, but it's not really necessary, so our twin Frozr will be more than enough to handle the job. This also comes with other advantages, which means it's a little bit less heavy, a little bit less costly to manufacture, obviously, and also it's shorter. So if you have limited space in your case, the 2070 will be much more likely to fit for you guys.
Yeah, so about the giveaway, we have again a Steam Wallet giveaway. So if you go to msi.com/2/insider, you see there Peter's picture on his chest. You'll find a link to the giveaway. If you cannot see it, I just posted the direct link to the giveaway, so you can participate. Yeah, another question about SLI Bridge still. You know, what about performance? And I think performance, you know,
it's that question again.
Yeah, you know, it's the same like with all the other games, you know. It depends on the game, it depends on the setup. Yeah. Basically, you know, SLI, I always say you get 60 to 80% extra performance.
It's never 1 + 1 is 2 with those. It's never you get twice the performance.
There are games which really benefit well from SLI.
Yeah.
But to be honest, you know, there are, in the past...
Mostly it's benchmarks though, isn't it? That really show the best scaling.
Some game engines. Like I think Battlefield is doing really great with SLI setup.
Yeah.
I don't have... I have Battlefield, but I don't have SLI. Again, that topic.
Right.
So yeah, I think there are a lot of reviews online, so please check them what SLI or NVLink scaling is doing on the game you like.
And make sure that before you invest, because, you know, again, it's 2080 or 2080 Ti, so 2080 minimum. Those cards are expensive, so if you have 2 of them, you definitely don't want to be disappointed and find out that the game you want to play doesn't use SLI, isn't SLI capable or something like that. So make sure you do your homework first, because yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money to waste. So let's definitely not do that.
Bugsy is asking, would you consider the 2070 a higher end 1080 to 44p gaming GPU?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, but I think that just to go ahead, I would say yeah. It's
short answer.
Short answer is yeah. It's a little bit better at 1440p than 1080, I would say. Plus you get the additional ray tracing cores and tensor cores and stuff.
Yeah, but you know that's all future tech. You still need to wait because
but I mean, in at the moment you already get a bit of a performance boost.
True.
So don't forget about that. Yeah. And you get that as a bonus to, you know, whatever may come. So,
but I see also people talking about ray tracing and ray tracing in the beginning of this month, beginning October. Microsoft released their big update. Yeah. That one also had a new Microsoft RT or I think it's called RT component in there for the ray tracing indeed. Now it's waiting for the software, you know, for the games. Yeah. And we already knew that Tomb Raider would have a patch later on, and it's not released yet, so we're still waiting for that one.
Yes.
And Battlefield, you know, the rumor was that Battlefield 5 was postponed because of ray tracing. Not sure if this is true. But it will launch on the 20th of November, still 1 month, you know, 5 weeks wait time. And then, you know, we hope...
Are you counting the days?
Yeah.
Be honest.
Actually, on the 21st, we have a live stream, and I already put on the calendar, Battlefield 5, question mark, you know. If it's doing ray tracing, well, you know, if it's doing ray tracing from the start, I want to show it to you.
I mean, we already showed some Battlefield 5 footage, right? When the open beta was going.
But not with ray tracing, and that's really something you know, which should really make a difference, And then, more titles are announced, but I think for everybody, need to decide how much is this worth, because when are we going to look to benchmarks? We have some, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can dive into them right now if you want.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So, all right, so guys, here we go. 2070. So we're comparing the 2070 to basically everything that's like close to it, from 1060, and this is the 6 gig version, up until 2080 Ti. So all the way up to the highest card we have at the moment. These are average benchmarks. So we took the info from Dutch reviewer Hardware Info, and they test a whole range of games and even some in-game benchmarks, some other benchmarks, basic benchmark programs, and they take the average of all those test results, and they make what they call the index, the performance index. So here you go, and this is basically an average FPS. I mean, take it for what it's worth, but this is the average across everything. So we know that FPS will be very different per game. But at 1080p, what you will see is that the 2070 is very firmly in between the GTX 1080 and 1080 Ti, actually beating the Vega 64 a bit as well. So I mean, it's squarely in between those two. But of course, this is 1080p. So for 1080p, I think, to be honest, this card is a bit overkill. Probably a 1070 Ti will be fine for most situations. Maybe barring Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as we saw last week. That one is just torment for some GPUs at the moment. If we go to 1440p, and this I think is where this card really shines as well. Here we can see that, I mean, again, it's pretty much smack dab in the middle of 1080 and 1080 Ti. Again, it beats Vega 64 by a little bit of a bigger margin than it did with 1080p. But an average FPS everywhere of around 90. I mean, that's got to be playable, right? So that's definitely fine. Obviously, 2080 Ti is the highest end there. No surprises, but 2070, for 4040p, definitely a good choice.
Yeah, and I think indeed this is the where it really shines in 4040p, because 4K, you need a faster GPU, and it's an overkill for 1080p.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into 1080p and you really want that, high FPS, like, I don't know, even 240 hertz, and you're playing games like Overwatch, then maybe it could be an option for you, like competitive gaming. But normally for people who just want, anywhere from 60 to 120 or, that kind of FPS, then this should be fine.
Yeah.
All right, so we can also watch the 4K benchmarks.
Yeah.
So at 4K, and there you go. So there it dips under 60 in average. And so that's why for 4K, we would say, the last generation flagship that was the 4K, basically the only choice for 4K was the 1080 Ti.
Average FPS. Also, in minimum FPS, you can still have some lags.
Yeah.
And that's why the new generation 2080 Ti, 2080, it's...
Especially 2080 Ti. So as you can see there, 80 plus FPS on average. That is amazing. So that is really the new king of 4K and high resolutions. But 2070, I mean, to be honest, you can do it. You probably, if you lower some settings, again, it's really kind of in the middle between 1080 and 1080 Ti. So again, here's your answer to your question. On average, at least, again, per game title, it can definitely be different. But on average, yes, the 2070 is a much better choice for 4040p.
Yeah, so people are also talking about pricing, that the 20 series are very expensive. It's a lot of money. Yeah. So you really need to check first of all, what kind of resolution do you have? Are you planning to upgrade your monitor, or you already have a 44p monitor with G-Sync, or, what is your plan for your monitor? If you're happy with it, then what do you expect from future games? If you want to play or use ray tracing in the future, then it's worth upgrading.
There's only one way to go then.
Yeah, indeed. If you don't want to use HDR, or your monitor doesn't support HDR, you just want to play the current game generations, and you want to have some headroom or headspace, for the future generation games, for the future engines, then maybe a 1080 Ti or 1080 is also good enough for you. And these now come at a quite interesting discount.
Yeah, I think, you know, we're going towards the end of the 10 series.
Actually, production already stopped months ago.
Yeah, so you know, if you want one of those cards, they're definitely still a viable choice for the rasterization part. So, yeah, I mean, there are some definitely interesting choices that you can make.
There are some people, you know, they buy a VGA card for 5 years, and some people are upgrading each year, you know. So it really depends on your own situation. Will prices come down for 20 series? Yeah, for sure. You know, at this moment, there is still shortage. All the memory is still expensive. Memory price is going down. But this takes time, you know, until you see this in the products in the market. Later, when there is, I don't want to say overstock, but when all the shops are stocked with new RTX cards from all brands, you know, you will see maybe a little bit price war coming out, breaking out.
With every launch, it's the same thing. There is now more demand than supply in most shops. So what you see most shops will do, I mean, this is not our fault, and there's really nothing we are actually even allowed to do about this. Is shops can charge anything they want. So they can put a premium on that price just because they can, because they know people will buy it anyway. It's not saying that everybody will do that, but some shops do it, and it is a valid business strategy, I guess. They can earn more money. It's not really fair for the consumer, but hey, that's how the market works, unfortunately. At least in this situation.
I see that the chat bot is still saying something about ESL 1 tickets. I will switch it off.
Yeah,
because,
that's...
well...
That's from an old stream. Event. No, not really. It was in I think in the summer sometime. I did a stream with CS:GO because we did give away some tickets for the ESL 1 event. Anyway, yeah. So 4040p, the 2070 is definitely a really good card. Let me switch to the main view while Eric switches up the game bot. So
I fired our bot.
Here we go.
He was doing a bad job.
All right, so what I'm going to do is, this is the main course, obviously, but first I'm going to show you the Armor card, which is also really nice. Because
this one is for me?
No. Only if you give it back. Anyway, so first I'm going to show you guys the Armor card. So you might remember the Armor cards from last generation as well. They are really still a very good, solid choice if you don't really like the gaming theme and you want to tone things down a notch. Usually these are a little bit cheaper as well, especially with the 2070. I can confirm that they should be, I think, near the MSRP price. So what we'll do is I'll start the unboxing right away. And I'll leave the box here.
Yeah, the discounts on 10 series, this will come, you know. It's a matter of time. I think some vendors already sold their stock. And for those who are sitting on stock, you know, it's a matter of time before prices will lower down the market.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Also, I think if you look at the second-hand market, you already see more supply, and the second-hand prices are quite low, I would say, for at least for 1070.
Yeah, exactly. That should be. I mean, they were plagued for a long time by mining and stuff like that. So I think that slowed down a bit. So a lot of these cards will hit the second-hand market now as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously you get the very nice looking envelope here with well, some information, obviously, some guides, some information. Look at that, there's a graphics card quick user's guide. Here we go. You got obviously the software CD. There we go. You get, here's the Lucky workshop. So that's the basically just, you know, if you don't know how to install a card, this will tell you in a very...
Then Lucky will make you lucky.
Well, Lucky, no, well, not Lucky, but lucky enough. Lucky will teach you how to do it, and even some maybe some overclocking here as well.
Yeah, so for those who don't know who's Lucky, Lucky is our mascot dragon.
Yeah, so he's the MSI mascot dragon, and he usually comes into play when things need explaining, like now. And he'll be happy enough to do it to do that for you. And we've also got some, I think these are coasters. Some really nice coasters. Eat, sleep, game, repeat. And gaming is my life, as you can see. So if you take those out, you can you just put your...
nobody can see it.
Eric
Anyway.
can put his Coke on it.
Yeah, nice.
So some nice extras in there.
Nice.
With the Armor card.
Eat, sleep, game, repeat.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much the life for me. Alright, so...
Sleep and repeat.
No, game.
And soon that will also be over.
Probably, yeah. Anyway. So, here we go. There's the Armor card. In the box. So I'll take it out for you guys. And just put the box here. As you see, always packed into anti-static bag for protection. Just drop that. And here we go. This is the new Armor card. So as you can see, it's really nice. It's yeah, like I said, a bit toned down. It's not quite as aggressive as gaming. So mostly black with a yeah, white edge running around here.
For people who don't know Armor is already there for like 3, 4, 5 years.
Ooh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and we always match it with crate or a black and white motherboard.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still there, you know. So it's not too many colors, not too many RGB LED, you know, not too many whistles.
When gaming was still red and black, this was basically the alternative if you didn't like the red color. So the Armor card still would get you really good performance. It uses the same custom PCB. So basically on the inside it's pretty much the same. It's just the cooler that's a little bit different, and yeah, obviously the outside that looks different. This time, however, I mean, last generation Armor cards did not have LED, and they did not have a backplate. This time, however, we made sure, I mean, you know, Armor without a backplate, that doesn't sound right? So we thought, okay, we got to give it some armor here on the backside as well.
Did you touch it earlier?
Probably, yeah, you can see
I see a lot of prints.
some touch marks on it.
Did you do some hugging?
Maybe, yeah. I like Armor. I like Armor. Anyway, so and then on the side, I think I just put it the right way up. And under here, actually, there are some RGB LEDs that you can control with Mystic Light. So it's subtle. It's not too big, not too bright, but it has some nice extra features. Other than that, I mean, the cooling is really solid. You can see here there are some. You can see the indentations in the fins that go, I believe, is it all the way through? No, actually, it's only on the back half. So this half of this series of fins here, which is on the back end of the card, covering the VRMs, the power components. Those have what you can see here, the indentations, which we call airflow control. Basically, they push the air which comes in from the top to both sides, and then actually there are the heat pipes. You can actually see there the studs basically sticking out. It will push more air directly onto the heat pipes, and that's where the heat is most concentrated. So that's where you want most of the airflow. Yeah, I mean, I've seen benchmarks of these. You can see them online right now. These have been reviewed as well.
Later we will show some benchmarks as well.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you can see the results for yourself. In terms of performance, quite solid, but in terms of cooling and noise, also very, very good. So yeah, really proud of our new Armor card.
And I think this one is one of the cheapest 2070s, right?
At the moment, yeah. I mean, that's why I mentioned MSRP earlier. And I mean, I know most of the cards, especially 2080, 2080 Ti, most of those will be like our Gaming Z. You know, those will be quite a bit priced higher than the MSRP, which is because, you know, there's a lot of extra stuff going on in there, and it's much more aggressively tuned and clocked. So a lot more development and costs go into that. So yeah, we kind of have to charge a bit of a higher price for that, or else we would go broke. For the Armor, actually, that one's a little bit, because it's, you know, toned down a little bit. It doesn't have quite that much features. So yeah, it's a little bit cheaper to make, but it still gets you the most important thing there, which is the performance is very solid. So yeah, this one you should be able to pick up for the MSRP, if not very close to it, depending on what shops want to charge you for it. But yeah, this one should be as close to the MSRP price as you can get right now. So I'll just put that one right here. So we'll keep it close, because obviously, actually I'll just put it down somewhere because it doesn't stand well on its own. But right now, let's take a look at this one. So this is the main course, the Gaming Z or Gaming Z, however you want to call it. You can see there's a lot of noise going on there because of the green screening, obviously.
Yeah, let's maybe take this camera. That's a little bit
better.
Yeah, not, you know, this is the big problem when you use green screen. Nvidia likes green as well. So everything becomes transparent.
If you ever want to do a green screen event at Nvidia headquarters, it's invisible.
Well, actually, you can do it with each color. You know, you can key
Probably.
out each color.
Blue screen. Yeah, I mean, there's
Blue screen.
There are, yeah.
Yeah. Then we cannot show Microsoft Windows 10.
Yeah, and Intel will be completely queued out. Anyway, Gaming Z, Gaming Z.
Oh, more RGB, more RGB.
Yeah, oh, more RGB is coming up, trust me.
Yeah. Oh, somebody wants a present.
The present.
Yeah, they want to. Well, maybe let's do already. I will pick one of the winners because
Yeah.
we have a giveaway.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah,
I'll
so
close the box. I'm sorry, guys. Eric's deciding he
We
wants
can
to choose
also
a winner.
give away this. Okay, let's
If you
first do a code.
You can always give it to me.
Yeah, I know. So we have a giveaway. Go to msi.com/2/insider. I will also later post the direct link. Basically, if you go to that page, you will see a button, participate in the giveaway or something. During the live stream, I will select several winners. So I'll select right now one winners. Let me. It's a bit slow.
It always is.
Yeah.
So we have a script, guys, that actually randomly selects winners from your entries.
Yeah.
So,
So
that's
it's-
if you're wondering, that's what Eric is doing right now. He's just running the script and letting it randomly select somebody.
Okay, so we have our first winner for the Steam wallet code.
$20.
$20 is Daniel Refcalo. I hope I pronounced it correctly.
Congratulations.
Yeah, in the coming days.
Even if he doesn't correctly pronounce it, don't worry, we've got your email address, so
Yeah.
we'll send you the code.
We will send you the code in the coming days. So please go to msi.com/2/insider, participate, and later we will draw some more codes.
We still
some
have more
winners.
codes to give away, so don't miss out on some nice Steam credit, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue then.
Choose me.
Yeah, obviously. It's too sad. I'm never allowed to participate in these things, you know?
Poland, Macedonia, everybody wants to win.
Yeah, obviously. Who doesn't?
I will post a link.
All right. Anyway, while Eric does that, we'll continue. So, as you can see on the box, by the way, also there's a little colorful 7 here. So that's the logo for Twin Frozr 7. So this card uses the 7th generation of Twin Frozr cards. Again, Twin Frozr goes back a long time. I think when was the year that we introduced the first Twin Frozr? You had a stream about that a while ago, right? Wasn't it last year or something? Beginning of this year? That you had like all the cards on the table?
No, actually, that was with RTX when
yeah,
you were in
that's right.
Taiwan.
Yeah, so that was actually
But
a
you
few
were
months
asking
ago.
me when the first one introduced. That's even, you know, I was already here, so this makes me quite old. Yeah, you know, in the beginning it was quite difficult with Twin Frozr because one generation was really good, another generation was not so good, and then, you know, with our engineers we fine-tuned the firmware, we fine-tuned the fan, and from that on, you know, it was I think Twin Frozr 3, Twin Frozr 4.
4 was excellent, I remember.
Yeah, you know, from that moment on it made its name.
Good.
Yeah, indeed. And Twin Frozr is about giving the highest performance, and actually, you know, we already long time had this in mind, the highest possible performance, but with 10 series and 20 series, this is even more important because it's not about, you know, everybody can put a fake clock speed on their packing,
Out of the box.
but it's about sustainable clock speeds, you know. How long can you keep it at the highest clock speed possible?
Yeah, because if your card gets hot while you're gaming and then the clock speed drops because of that, then you know the speed out of the box is useless. So you want to keep your eye on the speeds that the card actually is able to maintain while you're gaming. So not the speed, not just the speed that's advertised on the box. If you check the reviews, you'll also see this. There's always a bit of, you know, at the beginning the clock speeds go up very high, and then the temperature goes up and the clock speed will drop a little bit because the cards will have a script that actually decide, hey, wait a minute, if I reach this temperature, that means I need to tone down the clocks a little bit because I don't want to get too hot.
And especially, you know, there are you see several websites have benchmarks on thermal comparison, and you see that some cards are really, you know, they go up very high, like advertised, but after a few seconds they drop, you know, and then they are throttling the whole time, meaning that you don't get consistent performance, and basically, you know, you get lower average performance, you know, and that's what I think Twin Frozr is all about: offer consistent, sustainable clock speeds.
And I think it's one of the most premium experiences as well, with, you know, extra features. The fans are just cutting edge, you know, the best we can offer at the moment. Exactly. So without further ado, I will show you guys. All right, this thing is considerably heavier as well than the Armor card.
Maybe give the box.
I'll just put some stuff in it.
Okay.
No, don't worry about it.
Well, I want to switch to detail cam that we don't see the green anymore.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So here we've got the same. Before we go to the detail, I don't need to show you guys this, right? You've seen this.
Yeah.
So all of the stuff in there as well, if you need it. I'll just put the box here for now. Okay, so inside the box are a few things. So there's the card, as you can see right here. But below, yeah, you can switch to the detail view if you want. There we go. Below that, you can actually see there's something in here as well. So I'll first show you what this is. You might have seen this in previous generations. Yeah, you can maybe use this crowbar just once then, I think maybe. Or you can just use it to whack somebody.
Oh, not me, please.
Well, shit, now we need to be tagged for violence in this video. Anyway, so as you can see, this is a graphics card support brace, basically. So you can just put this under your graphics card. Here it has some rubber supports. Well, you can already see when I touch it with my ring, this is metal, not plastic.
Yeah.
It's quite thick metal as well. Let's see how best to show you that. Here you go. So it doesn't really bend easy. It's very sturdy.
I think especially because of this shape, you know, it's also anti-bending.
Yeah, like that. So, you know, obviously when you bend something like that, when you apply pressure from the top, which is basically what the card is leaning on, this is very, basically impossible to bend.
So somebody is selling both his kidneys for the 2070. I think the 2080 is the one kidney edition and 2070 is the 2080 and 2080 Ti are the two kidney editions and the 2070 is the one kidney edition.
Or a kidney and a half, depending on the quality of your kidneys.
Yeah, true that.
And the country you're selling. Anyway, yeah, let's continue. So this is just an extra, you know, again, this card is quite heavy. If you're using one of the latest motherboards, which have all the metal RGB protectors, RGB. Ooh, we should do that. The steel
RGB
armor
protectors.
The steel armor.
It will save you from all the RGB lights.
Exactly, yeah, save me from the RGB. But steel armor, you know, they have reinforced PCIe slots. There should be no problem at all. But if you move your PC around a lot, for example, you know, especially during transport, when you get those bumps and your PC is just, you know, moving up and down, that's where maybe you can use this. So we just included it just to be sure, and it's a little extra.
And this is included in the gaming X of gaming Z.
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah, but I think all the
and
gaming.
in the gaming X Trio, right?
Yeah, also, yeah. And I think that even the Duke has it.
Duke as well, okay, but it's not in the Armor, for example.
No,
Okay,
because again,
so
you know, the Armor is significantly less weighty than the gaming cards as well. So there, we don't really think it's needed.
Yeah, this is really
quite sturdy.
Yeah,
so Eric is actually.
I'm going to the gym, so if I can bend it, then
you're used to trying to bend this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway. We'll put this back in here for now.
You want to use it later on?
Well, maybe, yeah. Because we are going to build this card into a PC. But let's first show you the card. That's what you're all here for.
Yes, Quake, we will email you when you're a winner.
When you are a winner? Isn't everybody a winner?
Everybody's a winner until
you lose. Alright, so here we have it. I'll just take this sticker off. As you can see, we always put this sticker on just to show you guys. If you notice that the fans are not spinning, it doesn't mean your card is broken. This is a feature, not a bug, and I'm not joking, because that's zero frozer. You know, under 60 degrees, the fans will stop spinning to get rid of any noise.
Yeah, this sticker, actually in the beginning we didn't have it, and then a lot of people complaining, oh, my fan broke down, you know, it's not spinning at all, so we got calling support.
We got RMA, and you know, they were testing, and the card was working just fine. So these people were sending their cards. Exactly, they were sending their cards to RMA, and yeah, they didn't have to, because it was working just fine. Anyway, beautiful card.
Yeah, I love it, you know.
Really beautiful.
This is...
So again, the front, it has this time around not the red anymore, so now it's gunmetal gray with the black. So pretty similar to Trio card. I'll take a Trio card from the back in a minute. No. I'll do that afterwards.
A minute later.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so very similar in terms of look and feel as well. Obviously, just 2 fans. It does have the Torx 3.0 fans, which are, let's see if I can show you. Here we go. Which are recognizable due to the trims, basically. So there's 2 trims on the fan blades. And these are actually what we call traditional fan blades, because as you can see quite clearly here, the planar looking fan blade, the one without the trims on it, that one actually has the dip. So that one is actually the dispersion fan blade. So anyway, still 2 different shaped fan blades that work together to provide you the best airflow and reduce turbulence and reduce noise. The nice shiny dragon in the middle, obviously. Let's see, the back plate, that one is also really, really nice. Again, it's very similar to what we saw on GameX Trio. So it has the dual finish with the line down the middle. Brushed finish here, very nice gunmetal gray. I just like doing this and watching this as well, because
the light.
Every different angle you put it in, it looks different. Yeah. So this, like shiny silver, and then other angle it looks more like gray.
This time the backplate is not only for protection and anti-bending, right?
Yes. So actually there are some. Let's see. I can't show you at the moment, but underneath here, I think we showed it in the last a previous stream as well, when we actually took the backplate and the whole cooling off of a GameX Trio. These cards use the same thing, which are some thermal pads situated between. Let's see if I hold the card like this, you might be able to see. Well, probably you can't see it, but in between the backplate and the PCB, there are some thermal pads, and this will actually help to get some heat onto the backplate. So your backplate might actually become a little bit more hot than before, but that's fine. And especially if you have some airflow moving through your case, that just means that it will be taking some hot air out from the case, as it goes by. So it basically just then becomes or turns into part of the heatsink.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I have some questions about the materials we use. Is it metal or plastic?
No, it's it is plastic, the front, but it does have a metallic look to it. So it does look a bit more like metal than
it's
than
also it's hard plastic. It's not like
it's thick.
not like a toy.
No, it's very sturdy. It's not thin. It doesn't bend. It's a very sturdy card. So actually, there's not really much you can. This thing is really sturdy.
It's also heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy as well. And as you can see, I think the same we showed with the Trio. There's a lot of screws going through the backplate, and probably I can show you that though.
You have a separate cooler, right?
Well, yeah, but at the end. So here you can see actually some of the screws going through the backplate. You can actually see here at the edges. They're actually going straight through the PCB and into the heatsink, or in this case, this is part of the heatsink that just covers the back end a little bit. But this continues all along the screws of the backplate. So that's why on all points this card is very sturdy, and basically it also helps to prevent bending, obviously. This thing is really sturdy. When we go back to the front, by the way, you might be able to see, or actually not see, like, hey, I thought there was some RGB on there. I'm pretty sure I saw it on the box. Yes, if you see under the edges here of this gray area, that's actually where we've hidden the RGB a little bit. It actually looks really, really nice. It's more like a glow than a direct in-your-face type of RGB. So it just gives a really nice glow effect from underneath it. And then on the side, obviously we have, you want to show off that you have an MSI card. So here's the MSI badge with Twin Frozen 7, obviously. Nice dragon. Here, this part is all RGB lit. So you can also change all the effects with Mystic Light and combine them or sync them up with other components. And this part is, just a sticker. So there's no RGB below this.
The dragon, it looks golden, but basically when RGB LED is there, you don't see it, right?
No, that's true. So
it is also quite funny because when you were in Taiwan and we were developing these VGA cards, so this is when was it?
I was also trying to. I think no. What, September and August? No, man. This was, I think, in May or something.
No.
Oh, well, actually, not these. Well, maybe it was these cards.
No. It was last generation.
Yeah, it could be.
Should be in August.
July. I don't know.
Anyway, you know, we had a live stream and Peter showed us some engineering samples. And at that moment, we didn't know officially, you know, if it was going to be RTX or GTX.
Yes.
So that's why our engineers already made two different versions.
One with GTX and one with RTX.
Yeah, just to make sure, you know, when the final decision was there to call it RTX, that we could speed up the production schedule. We didn't have to make a new version, etc.
Yeah.
So we were prepared.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's also always what you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, a few things I still want to point out. One is the power connectors right here. So I believe, actually, I'm not sure what the reference version uses now. I don't remember by heart. But what I do know is that we will have, especially on our gaming versions, it will have an increased number of power connectors because we always beef up the power supply. Or the power PWM, so basically the power supply components on the card as well. Another thing, maybe I'm not sure if I can show you. Actually, let's switch to another thing, because what I also have here for you guys is a separate thermal module, so I can show you a little bit what's going on underneath. So let's see. Yeah, so this is the same thing, right? You can see.
So take this one away?
Yeah, you can take that one away. All right, so here's what happens if you would be able to take the thermal module off and you just turn it over onto the other side. So here you go. So this is the underside of the Twin Frozr 7 even cooler. Yeah.
So
yeah, there you go. So it's the same cooler.
So the PCB of the back plate is removed. The PCB is removed, yes. And then you basically have this component. But there is, yeah.
Anyway, so here's where, of course, the GPU is. So this is a solid copper nickel-plated base plate. So this catches the heat, and it then throws it to these heat pipes here, which are nice and flattened to minimize the amount of space left unused between them. And of course, then the heat pipes run along the whole heatsink here.
How much does it weigh?
That's a good question. I do think, I mean, for the card,
use it in the gym.
No, it's not. It's not nearly heavy enough for that.
I will find it on
the card itself, actually. So this is the thing. Just the heatsink and the cooler actually. Yeah, I think that's like 60-70% of the weight of the card. So that means that the actual card itself actually weighs quite a lot as well. So there is quite a bit of difference there. So the back plate, the PCB and everything, that adds a bit of weight there. Anyway, here's where all the power components will be. So basically a whole line of chokes and MOSFETs, and the power connectors will be, let's see, somewhere on this side, obviously, because we see there's actually a small part like cut out of the heatsink to allow for the space. Here you can also very nicely see, kind of like the Armor, but in a different way. This also pushes the air to either side of the this shape here, so more onto the heat pipes directly.
It's 1.5 kilograms.
All right, so 1.5 kilograms.
Yeah, 1.5 kilograms, and including packing, etc. And it's 2.
Right, so there you go. It's not that bad. I mean, it's nice. It feels sturdy.
Yeah.
But it's not like, ridiculously heavy, obviously. We don't use any super heavy materials in there, I don't think. Which obviously wouldn't be wise to do either. If we look in between the fans, however, that's also quite a nice thing. We saw it already on Trio cards. So you see the fins, the little aluminum fins in between the fan blades. You can see there's a wave shape in there. Let's see if I can get you a close-up of it.
Yeah, maybe
a little bit.
Don't turn the fan. That's focus.
Let's see. Well, anyway.
Yeah,
there we go.
Like that.
So if you look between the fan blades, you will see there's like little rounded shapes there. So these are the fins, and at the top of the fin, they are actually, curved like a wave. So they basically go like that. This is to break the airflow. So when it hits the fins, what it will do is it will actually, instead of, if it's a flat surface, the air will hit it, and at some point it will also start to create a bit of turbulence, which we will perceive as noise. The whoosh noise, the shh, that. So by actually curving the top of the fins a little bit, it's like it will act like water, you know. So instead of hitting it and then bouncing around, it will just hit it and then glide along the edge, more or less. So it's a bit, yeah, it will help to reduce the amount of turbulence and also noise generated by that part. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much what I can show you about the cooler. Other than, yeah, it's a really amazing piece of engineering, and it performs so well, which we'll also show you a bit later. So I'll just put the cooler back, and what I'll do, as promised, I'll also grab one of the 2080s to compare it. So here we go. All right.
So this is 2080 or 2080 Ti?
This is a 2080. Yep. So as you can see,
yeah, they're related.
They are related. They're a family. But as you can see, the top one, the 3 fan, so that's the 2080, is much bigger.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can also show it. Here we go. Let's see the thickness. So I think the connectors, the display connectors, should be very much similar, if not 100% the same. You can see, oh, this card actually has some protector still left in there.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
it's...
Yeah. But in terms of thickness, let's see. From the back. So as you can see, the 3 fan card is also a bit thicker than...
So that one is 3 fan card, right?
This one.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can see that one's a little bit higher than the other one. From the other side, I mean, they're obviously quite similar.
That's 3 kidneys.
Yeah, this combined, it's like, you know, imagine,
how to do that?
Imagine the SLI setup, guys, and the cost of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this side, here we go. So let's see, maybe I can just put them on top of each other like this. Very carefully, obviously, we don't want to damage anything.
So this is like...
Now this is getting kind of heavy.
this is like
this is
3.5 kilo or 4?
3.5 kidneys?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So you guys get the idea, right?
Okay. Somebody's saying, I love the fact that one of the fans on the 2080 is smaller.
Yeah, that's correct. So, also, well, funny story, but I think we've already said it, but we can quickly say it to you again. If you've always wondered why this fan here is actually smaller than the other two, I believe these two are 10 centimeters, and this one is 8.5 or something, yeah. Close to 9 maybe. We actually had to make this one smaller because of this little part here. This you can take off, which is for the, if you turn it around, to give space for the NVLink connector. So if you want to put the SLI bridge on there, you have to remove this part, which you can do. As you can see here, there's like, here we go, 1 little screw and 2 little screws. So you can remove that, then you can take this part out. But obviously the fan shouldn't be covering that part, because then, you know, you still can't use the NVLink connector. So that is why. But still, this fan, yeah, works really well as well.
Yeah.
The majority of the heat, by the way, is positioned pretty much in the middle where the GPU and the memory is, and near the rear where all of the VRM, so the power components, are located. So that's where most of the cooling is needed anyway. But trust me, guys, a close to 9mm fan is no joke. So that one also will cool way more than is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is maybe also a nice shoe. That's why
is
I was turning the
2080 Ti
cards
better?
around.
Yeah, for sure in performance.
So yeah, it's like this. It's kind of hard to spot the difference.
Savage is asking, what about Martijn and Johan? They left MSI, I think, earlier this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, no live streams with them. I think in the coming weeks you will see a new colleague. You already saw Mike.
Yeah, you know Mike. So
Mike, we call him Michiel, but that's, you know, his English name. We call him Mike to make it more easier.
Exactly.
And soon you will see our new colleague Ja.
Ja.
Yeah.
You will see him as well. So he'll be introduced soon enough. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, let's continue with this part. Yeah, let's also get the armor in here.
Thanks, JD Tech Gear.
Yeah. Let's also get the armor in here. So I'll just get the trio to the side and put the armor. So here we have, maybe you can do the close-up cam.
Yeah.
It's hard to get everything in one shot. Give me some time. Let's see if I can compare these two as well. Here we go. So yeah, Armor and Gaming, both I believe still use the same PCB. So in terms of size, there's not that much difference, but you will notice especially in weight, surprisingly as well, there's some difference there. I think the Armor is just a little bit slimmer as well. Maybe you can see it when we show it like this. Yeah. Actually, the white makes it look a little bit bigger as well because it's brighter. But actually, the gaming shroud actually sticks out just a little bit more than the Armor one. Yeah. So there are some minor differences, but overall...
I think also if you show it from the back, well, that's difficult because it's closed. The heatsink on this one is bigger, and this also
much wider.
Yeah,
as you can see.
and this also translates in thermal performance.
Yes.
So you have more heat pipes, you have more technology in there. So if you compare some benchmarks, then based on cooler performance, so noise and temperature, the Gaming Z will outperform the Armor card.
Yes, but that's mostly down to the Gaming Z having an extremely high clock speed as well. So
I'm talking about performance about cooling and noise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, it should have better thermal performance. It does have better thermal performance than Armor. Yes,
and more RGB LEDs.
Of course, and that makes the biggest difference. We all know that. Yeah. All right, so maybe you can show. We've also done some benchmarks, or we actually borrowed some benchmarks, I should say, from Paul's Hardware. So he did a video where he had both the Gaming Z or Gaming Z and the Armor card, and he made a very nice comparison. So here you can see that the RTX 2070 Armor, which is this card, still beats the 1080. And this is in TimeSpy, which uses DirectX 12. This is not FPS, by the way, so that's a little error in the slide. But it still comfortably beats the 1080. But if you then look at the 2070 Gaming Z, which is to the right side of it, you'll see that the score there is almost 1,000 points higher. Graphics score, I should say. So that's purely graphics score.
Can I have that one?
No.
Somebody has a question, but I'm not sure what he's asking.
So for being the same GPU, being both 2070s, the Gaming Z is quite a lot faster and quite much closer to the 1080 Ti than the Armor card. So that is very interesting, and I'll tell you why that is. That's because the Gaming Z actually is very much overclocked out of the box. And when I say out of the box, I mean it's already very aggressively clocked. I don't know if we can show the exact clock speeds here, but if you would compare them, you would see it as well that the clock speeds straight out of the box are very high. I believe that Armor is around 1710 megahertz, whereas the Gaming should be already at 18 or nearly 1900 megahertz. And during my testing, I hope it will happen again today, I was able to, with some overclocking help, with, for example, the OC Scanner from Afterburner, I was able to get a relatively consistent benchmark going, where the card actually would stay above 2000 megahertz. So that's quite nice and perform. Even without any extra cooling, no extreme overclocking, no extreme cooling, just by running the OC scanner and letting the thing do its work, I achieved a really nice overclock.
So Michel knew already. I was looking into his question. He's talking about the fins. So on the 1070 they are horizontal, and on 1070 they're horizontal, and on 27 they're vertical.
Yes.
You know about this.
Well, I know that indeed. Actually, what was it? The 1080 and 1080 Ti, I believe, also used put the fins basically top to bottom instead of lengthways. So this depends on the whole thermal design. So what you would also notice is that the thermal designs that used, maybe I can take the thermal module I had here. So as you can see, maybe do the close-up view if you want. So as you can see, basically, when the fins are running this way, basically, like that, you will need to make sure that there's plenty of space at the sides for the air to escape, obviously, because it will blow out, it will try to blow out through the sides, because it can't travel lengthways. But also, this impacts how you place the
heat pipes.
The heat pipes, indeed, because they need to run along, the heat, the fins and the heatsink to distribute the heat as much as they can. So you might remember Twin Frozen 5 and 6. I think some cards had what we call the SU shape heat pipes. So basically, they would run like in the shape of an S, the other way here. So in the shape of an S through the heat, the fins that will run lengthways. These cards have been differently designed, and for this.
Nicolas asking, Erik, do you have this card at home?
Oh, that? No,
not
I don't think
yet.
So. No, but he will if you don't watch yourself.
No.
No, but so yeah, there's a difference in design, and for these cards especially, for the higher end cards, you will notice most of our cards will use this kind of design because it shortens the amount of heat pipe as well, the length they need to travel, and that benefits the dispersion of the heat greatly.
Yeah, I have some questions. Actually, it's too many questions. What about lifespan? I mean, the high overclock on Gaming Z, will this impact the lifespan of the cards?
No, it has the same warranty as all our other cards, and
that's not an answer.
Well, that is kind of already indicative.
But will it impact? I mean, I think not, because
well, you know, it could, but then you're talking about the typical life. I mean, on the GPU itself,
no,
the lifespan would be like what, 40 years?
Yeah,
and maybe you shorten it to 39.
Yeah, so
honestly, no.
And also it's about the thermal which is on there, you know. So the high performance, you know, the new 20 series is designed that when it hits a thermal limit, it will start throttling. And because of this cooler, you know, we can keep it on high clock speeds and keeping it cool at the same time, so it doesn't need to throttle.
Yeah, and during overclocking, to be honest, we've noticed that especially 2070 and 2080, they will much sooner hit the voltage limit. So there's a voltage limit in the BIOS. This is all managed by Nvidia, so we're actually basically not able to and allowed to change this. However, it will much sooner hit the voltage limit than it will hit the thermal limit or any other kind of limit. So basically you'll be able to, I was surprised at how much I could actually get out of these cards, and I mean extra performance. Even though the Gaming Z is already overclocked quite high out of the box, I was still able to get quite a bit of performance increase out of it by overclocking both the GPU and the memory. So I'll show you that in a minute, but it's to be honest, in terms of overclocking, I'm much more excited about the 20 series than I was about the 10 series.
Yeah, so Savage has also a very interesting question. Which one is going to be the common card, Gaming X or Gaming Z? Because with Pascal, Gaming X was clearly more, not only available, but more popular.
Yeah.
So maybe I show the slide again, or?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically there we don't even say Gaming Z or Z, we say Gaming because it's the Gaming series.
I think for gaming for 2080 and 2080 Ti we have two SKUs: the Gaming X Trio and the Gaming Trio.
Oh, sorry, yes, and the Gaming Trio, yes.
Yeah.
So with or without the X.
Yeah, indeed. But for the 2070 gaming, we have
three.
Gaming.
Yeah, Gaming X.
Yeah. And Gaming Z.
Gaming Z.
Yeah.
And so gaming is the so gaming without any add-on after that is the base model, which still has the GPU, but it doesn't have the extra overclock out of the box. You can overclock using Afterburner, so you can still do that. The X variant has, I think, it's like a pretty nice overclock already, but it's not the highest end. And then Gaming Z has the absolute highest clock that we wanna do on it, and that
will be the default card. So
yes,
Gaming Z is the new X.
I'm actually not sure in terms of quantity.
Yes.
So that's a good quantity. So that's already a good question.
No, but that is.
Yeah. So and I think that speaks also to the quality of the chips, because especially with the 10 series, we were just looking at how many of these chips can we possibly put in this high frequency with the Gaming Z or Gaming Z, the first version. And it turned out that actually wasn't very high. The percentage we could do was very low, so it became a very exclusive model as well. this generation, actually with the Gaming Z, Gaming Z, we're able to do that a lot to a lot more GPUs. So,
are you going to do some game testing?
Yeah, if we have some time left for it, yes.
Yeah, Nicola is asking for it. He's begging, show us some game performance.
Yeah. So basically, okay, so what we'll do then is, what I'm going to do now is build it into the PC, because then we can get some actually, some actual
This is
performance.
normally when things go wrong, you know?
Yeah, so stick around.
Yeah, either we have power outage.
Maybe in the meantime you can take away the attention from me trying to do stuff by choosing another winner.
What if instead you assemble it here?
Yeah, I will. But in the meantime, you can
we
choose
want to
some
have
winners.
footage.
Yeah, of course you want.
Some recording when things go wrong.
I know. For insurance purposes, no doubt.
And this is also, when we do live,
pressure.
we change VGA cards or we build a PC. Always very difficult. You want me? Yeah, I will switch over here.
Do you want to go? Oh, there we go. Nice.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, we've got the MSI Pylon case. So it's our own case with, I believe, a X470.
I will give away.
EMD build.
I will give away a code when you need distraction. Good.
Why don't you just start? Just do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so nice build. We've been using these on multiple. I think last week with the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we were also using this one. Yeah, quite a good system. So I'm now going to build in the Gaming Z or Gaming Z card. And actually, I'll sorry for that. I'll turn it a little bit towards me, or else I won't be able to see what I'm doing. And
Somebody is asking if is it compatible with my H61M motherboard.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it works, but you for sure don't get the best performance out of it. I think first of all, H61 doesn't have Gen 3 PCI Express. Not sure, 100% sure. So yeah, it works, but if you really want, it's not in relation to, normally you have a bigger, more expensive chipset if you use these VGA cards.
Well, you would expect, because you don't want to bottleneck the performance, obviously.
No. And this also depends on your CPU, because if you have H61, I'm also assuming you have a Celeron CPU or a Core i3 CPU, because that's more in relation to, of course, it works with a Core i7, but in case you have a Core i3 or a Pentium or a Celeron CPU, this will be bottlenecked. A lot of games will be bottlenecked by the CPU. So you cannot get the maximum out of this VGA card. And then again, also depends on what kind of resolution you're running your monitor. So let me do a giveaway. Peter needs some.
Don't worry, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Just connecting the power connectors here, and then we should be pretty much good to go. I still need to then connect all the peripherals and stuff and the power. But there we go. Maybe I can show you guys. There we go. It's nicely seated in there. Yeah.
Can you show it here? Just put on the power that we see the RGB LED.
Maybe, yeah. If I can get the power connector over there. Let's see. So if you see sparks flying, I did something wrong.
Or if you don't see anything at all.
Yeah, I might also have done something wrong. Right, let's see.
Oh! I'm joking.
Nice try, Eric. So we finally got to use that. We've been having that in the presentation for in case we needed it, but we never actually use it. So anyway, oh, that's nice. Let's actually put the power on. There we go. So it's hard to show, so I'll just tip it a little bit like this, so you can actually see the lights.
We were still talking about
underneath.
a button to kill all the lights.
Yeah, we were.
Shall I walk around?
No, I think it should be okay for now.
Green, yeah.
Also because the green,
Anyway, there are enough pictures on our product page, on reviews, etc. It looks awesome.
Yeah, so out of the box already it will show you a nice rainbow effect, and yeah. Anyway, I'm now going to disconnect this one again. Normally shouldn't do this, but hey,
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, exactly. Don't try this at home. And I'll just set it up beside the desk here.
You know what I did, Peter?
What did you
Instead of one winner, I selected two.
Oh my god, you're like Santa.
Yes, I feel like Santa. We have two winners for the Steam Wallet code. We already had one. Federico Dalla Luce is one, and Ayita Thomas. So congratulations. In the coming days we will send you an email. We have your email address. We will send you an email with the Steam Wallet code so you can redeem it. Good luck with it. Buy some awesome game with it. Peter?
Almost done here.
Almost done.
Almost done.
Done.
Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. So then we're going to do some benchmarking, right?
Correct.
Benchmarking, maybe some gameplay.
Yeah, oh, some overclocking, obviously.
Yeah,
showing
so
the Afterburner.
If you still want to participate in the giveaway, just go to msi.com/2/insider. It will show somewhere on Peter's chest. It will have a button, participate in the giveaway. I will also post a link again in the chat. For people who cannot access it directly. So, there you have it. Sorry, it doesn't show on Twitter. Just go to msi.com/2/insider. For 90% of the people it should work.
Yep. Alright.
Brandon wants a free 2070 from you. No, sorry.
Me too, man.
Who won the Assassin's Creed Odyssey giveaway last week?
We had 4 winners, actually.
Yeah, we have 4 winners, including one gold code.
The last one. So I'm not going to tell you their names again, because obviously that's maybe against rules as well.
GDPR.
Anyway, we already emailed them out, and so they should be happily gaming.
In 2 weeks' time, I'm not sure, but you know, in the future we will give away some more Assassin's Creed Odyssey game codes. Not next week. Next week we have another giveaway. Some nice creators pack. Maybe the week after that. Is Gaming Z only for RTX 2070? Yes.
Yeah, at the moment we used to have them on. Correct me if I'm wrong here. 1070, 1080.
Yeah.
We used to have Gaming Z, but yeah, for the 20 series, Gaming Z, the only one we have right now is on the 2070. So yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to catch up with some questions.
You can switch to maybe show the complete rig as well. Got a slide for that. Yes. Yep.
Yes.
So here you can see on my right side, this is the whole system I'm using. So it's a Pylon case, which is an MSI case. It's got an AMD Ryzen 5 2600 CPU in there. I believe it's 6 cores and 12 threads. We are using X470 Gaming Pro Carbon AC motherboard, using the RTX 2070 Gaming Z that I just put in there. 16 gigs of DDR4 memory. We've got, unfortunately, we don't have a bigger thing, so we had to choose only one game in there. So a 129 gigabyte M.2 SSD. So we should have really fast loading times there. And of course, yeah, the power supply is something you need to keep in mind, especially with cards with higher power draw. This one isn't too bad.
You have internet?
Yeah.
Maybe you can go to the MSI.com product page and show the RGB pictures. I see some people asking for that.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. So if you want to see those kind of things, just go to MSI.com, click on the graphics cards, and let's see. Well, either you can look for Gaming Z or click on the GPU you want in the selection. And then we have here the product page of Gaming Z in this case.
A question of ST61. Will the new Afterburner feature, the automatic OC, the OC Scanner, work with the GTX 970 Gaming?
Nope.
No.
Not even with the 10 series right now. No. Only the 20 series are at the moment supported.
Yeah, so only 2070, 2070 Ti and 20... Oh, sorry. Is this a high five?
You did it.
You know, it was quite funny.
You did a gigabyte there.
Yeah. Gigabyte, they had a typo in their advertisement. They called 2070 Ti, and everybody was like, 2070 Ti is coming.
Oh, they leaked it.
Yeah, but it's not coming, you know, or not that we know of.
No.
So they later rectified it, and yeah, now I made the same mistake. Anyway, 2070, 2080 and 2080 Ti. Those are the only 3 GPUs which support the OC Scanner feature, and Peter will demo it. So here on the screen, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, here we have some visual. I don't have actual pictures, I don't believe, but this is the whole product page. So if you want more information about this card, just go to our product page, and here you'll find all the details. So also about how to control the RGB colors, for example. So here you have a selector where you can just say, okay, I want different colors, and the card will change colors.
It can
effects.
do much, yeah.
There you go. I mean, it looks way more impressive than this, to be honest, in real life.
Yeah, that's the problem, you know.
It's very hard to capture those things on camera that they look good. So that's usually, yeah, in real life is the only way to see them. Anyway, okay, so basically I've got something that I can do here. Of course, Afterburner I'm gonna run.
MA. Oh, somebody joining, I know.
Yeah.
MA, please arrange a mobile phone for me when I'm at O1. Shopping list.
Normally these things you just put on email.
Okay.
Anyway, let's run some Afterburner. Maybe you can go without the specs there.
When will 2060 come? Nobody knows.
No idea.
Maybe it will never come.
It's not been announced yet. To our knowledge, there's not such a card. Okay, so here we go. We've got Afterburner up. Obviously, you can see here's the 2070. Temperatures and everything are displaying. Here we've got the memory clock speeds. Here we've got the GPU clock speeds, voltages, and temperature in Celsius. So sorry for you guys who do the temperature meeting in Fahrenheit. Anyway, let's see.
I think for next week you need to prepare this as well.
Why?
You don't know how to recalculate, right?
I have no idea. I've never used Fahrenheit in my life. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, the latest version of Afterburner, which is the Beta 9, I believe, and there's multiple builds, but always take the latest build.
You see it over there, the version left side.
Yeah, Beta 9 indeed, but there's actually, there's more information. There should be somewhere, here we go. So this is, it's 13338 at the moment. That's the latest version. Anyway, if you want to try the OC scanner, you need to have an RTX 20 series card. But if you want to try the OC scanner, it's I want to say it's not hard to find, but actually it is at the moment. It's still a beta feature as well, so sometimes it can crash. It can have some problems. For me, it's all been working fine. But it's actually, there's a little button here, if you guys can see that. There's this little graph icon next to the core clock text. This is actually a button. And when you click it, you'll get the voltage/frequency curve editor. So this is something that's, I believe, been in there for quite a while. Oh yeah, okay. Here we go. Yeah, I believe this has been in Afterburner for quite a while already. So here you could already adjust voltage and frequency basically. So this shows you the curve at which kind of voltage. So the higher up the voltage goes, the higher the card will put the frequency. So the megahertz basically. On the right here, you see something which is new. So this is where the OC scanner is located. So you can just click that, and then it opens a little prompt, as you can see here. And it will say, hey, connected to the MSI Afterburner control interface. And here you have two options. So there's test and there's scan. Scanning actually is the thing you want to do first. So scanning what that will do is it will just test the curve and see, okay, so when I stress the card, how high can I put the megahertz, so the frequency, without running into any issues. So this is what you would normally manually do. This is the overclocking process. You will maybe adjust the voltage if needed. In this case, we'll just throw everything to the max. It doesn't matter. The card will regulate itself. And so it will just choose the maximum values for the settings of your card. The test option is more like a validation. So there it will, and the test option actually is takes way less time than scanning. Scanning will take what was it, 15, 16 minutes. I can show you a little bit, but I won't bore you with the whole process because I've done it for you guys already. Because after that, and you test the result, you basically verify it that it's stable. Then the system will let you apply it. Let's close this. And then it will, instead of core clock, here normally you could set a value like plus, I don't know, like 150 or something, you know, and there you can see it will change the voltage and temperature frequency curve. Here it will say curve because it's using the values created by the OC scanner. So basically the process is as simple as this. So you open this, and you need to, before you do this, obviously if you're new to Afterburner, you do need to enable a few things. Some of these things will be locked, so you need to unlock voltage control, voltage monitoring, or else you can't monitor the voltage. So just enable all these things. Make sure you're, except force constant voltage, that one is not needed for this. But make sure you have those other ones checked. And then you can start the process. So basically I'll just return this to stock, or this button actually does that. So there we go. I will go into, just open the scanner and push scan. That's okay.
Okay.
You're blocking some of the numbers, but
yeah, better.
Better?
Yeah, better. Adam,
okay.
I typed the answer to your question because Peter continues talking.
Yeah, because I'm
I hope you
explaining
found
something. I'm not sure if it's important. I could also say it, but anyway. So what you see here is then that the script will start running. It will notice, okay, so you're running another memory overclock, so plus 0 megahertz. Over voltage is at 0% because you've not put anything different. Power limit is 100%. If you can still up this to, I think, like 114 or something usually. Thermal limit. So this is basically when the card will start throttling. That's 81 degrees. Fan speeds are auto, so the card will decide the fan speeds itself based on the temperature. And so it's started the process of scanning. Please wait a few minutes. So it will do 4 passes. Each on a different voltage. So at the beginning, now it's basically at probably somewhere close to 800 millivolts. Let's see if we can see that. Actually 737. So it's at the lowest end. That's why it's like off the charts at the moment. It's a little bit on the left.
I think Awesome Poo wants to give you a high five. But if he's called Awesome Poo, you should not high five people.
Maybe high five with a chair to the face. But thank you, guys. Thank you, my dude. But anyway, so what you see here is actually it's not like a hypothetical script either. It's actually loading the card, which you can see. Let's see if I can get this out of the way for a second. Here you can see what is happening in real time, basically as well. But also here. So here you can see that the temperature is actually slowly going up. So it's now up to like 51, 52 degrees, which basically means that probably the fans aren't even spinning at the moment.
Nope.
And if you open this a bit more, you can see more detail. Maybe this is too much for you guys, but you can see that it's constantly pushing the GPU to 100% usage, seeing what happens, and then deciding if it can actually push the core clock a bit higher. So here you should actually see that each time the core clock is pushed a bit higher. And here as well. So I think this is the core clock. Oh, sorry, this was the memory usage. This is the core clock. So the core clock started at around 14 something, and it's already up to 15, 60. But again, this is one of 4 passes, and it starts at low voltage. Once it gets to the higher voltages, the frequencies will also be higher. So, again, remember, it's a curve. So it will start low, and then slowly it will curve upwards. So this is the process. And
that's a better high five.
What?
No.
It will. So it will slowly start to discern and see, what can we do. This process will continue for, like I said, probably around 16 to 20 minutes.
And will this crash your PC?
No. What it will do though is that every time it reaches the highest point of each 4 passes, the screen will shortly go black. But
so
then
it crashes.
I'm not sure if that's the case, or if it then just decides, okay, now we're switching to the next voltage frequency, and that then because of the frequency switching, it kind of has a little bit of a delay.
I think it will, it crashes and then it remembers, one before that is okay.
It could be, because normally in manual overclocking, this is also what you would do. You would continue with small steps until it becomes unstable when you test it, when you load the system, run a benchmark, and it crashes.
I always
and then okay, so it's the step before that that was stable, so you go back to that step, and then you tweak other
I don't have patience, so I go for the highest clock speed. It crashes, and then I go like half back, and I see, it works, and then again. It crashes.
So you've got the quick and dirty method, and you've got the scientific, one by one method. To be honest, I also never really had the patience to do that kind of overclocking.
Yeah. Oh,
Here we go. So there's a little bit of a hitch, and there probably now it will say. See,
we
here,
are
it's
very
actually
lucky that the capture card doesn't.
It switched to scanning point 2 of 4.
Yeah.
So that's now it's at the second pass. You will notice that the millivoltage went up from 700 and something to 831. Here you also see it on the curve. So basically the green line here shows where it's at the moment, and slowly it will start raising this point up to where it will become unstable. One thing to note is that the OC scanner actually only overclocks the GPU. So it does not overclock the memory. This is something, if you want to do that, you would have to do manually after this is done overclocking. But here you can already see that it says curve. Instead of a value, it will say curve, because it then is using the values of the curve that OC scanner has set.
Yeah, and with memory overclocking, you know, it's not always like the GPU can go this high and the memory can go this high. It's always a combination of.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that if you have OC scanner and you have the best setting according to this tool, that when you're going to do memory overclocking, you know, you can reach certain clock speed. Maybe you have more performance if you turn down the core clock a little bit lower and memory speed a little bit higher. This also depends on the game or the application you're using.
As you can see, guys, we're already up to 1710 megahertz. I think probably, you know, at the higher passes, you know, we still have 2 passes to go, both of which will have much higher voltages as well. So I'm pretty confident that we can hit like 1900 something, maybe even close to 2000 megahertz on just this. We should be able to.
Yeah. So
anyway.
For those who don't know Afterburner, Afterburner can be downloaded for free on our website. Works with each GPU.
Not only MSI, it works with
each brand.
Yeah, each brand. So regardless AMD or Nvidia, OC Scanner only works on RTX 20 series cards at the moment. But Afterburner itself can be used on pretty much all graphics cards, no matter which brand, even if it's not MSI, and no matter if it's AMD or Nvidia.
Yeah.
And again, it's free.
Well, I also want to say it's safe, you know. If you just start sliding with the overclock, with the sliders, you know, with the core speed, the memory speed, if you do it step by step, you can and you benchmark it, you can reach interesting results.
Yeah.
Don't touch the voltage, then you're safe, no problem at all.
Yeah, but if you know what you're doing, and especially the 10 series and the 20 series cards, they've got like built-in protection. So even the voltage, this slider, you can pretty much just put all the way up to 100.
Peter,
it won't crash your system.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because what it will do is it will not say that, okay, you need to use like 100% extra voltage right now. It doesn't push it through. Basically, it just tells the card, hey, you've got extra headroom, so you've got more voltage to use.
I didn't
but
know
to be
that.
honest, these, especially the voltage, limits of the voltage are controlled in the BIOS settings.
Again.
Yeah, so here actually I think the second pass has just completed. So now we're up to the third one, which uses a higher millivoltage, up to 900 something.
So, and this you only have to do one time, right?
You can do it
it's
multiple
not like,
times.
yeah, but I mean, you don't have to do this each time you boot up your PC.
No, you only have to do it once. You have to let it complete though, obviously. Yeah. And then you can save it as profile. So actually you might see I've already got 2 profiles here. I've already done this process yesterday. So we can skip these steps for now. You probably get the point of how it goes. It will take one more step after this. And it's already pushing 1830 megahertz, and it will keep doing that. Anyway, I will stop the process now.
Sever is asking, why are there no custom RX Vega cards from MSI? Well, we looked into it when the card launched. We have them on the market, but basically they're reference design with a custom cooler. No, even not with a custom cooler. No, yeah, it's just reference cooler as well. We look into it, but the supply at that moment, and I believe still, you know, it's very limited. So we choose not to do a custom design because making a custom design takes a lot of resources. Because, you know, when we put a VJ card on the market and we want to call it Gaming X, it's not just like, hey, we put a cooler on it and that's Gaming X or Gaming Z this time. We want to make sure it's the best, you know. You need to tailor make CPU cooler, or sorry, a GPU cooler. You need to redesign the PCB. A lot of resources go into it, and then in the end,
a lot of research as well.
Research as well,
Don't
indeed.
underestimate that.
So in the end, you know, you also need to have the volume in order to put it on the market. And you know, we believe some OEM they took a lot of volume at that moment from AMD. From AMD. So yeah, we choose not to make a custom design.
There actually weren't that many Vega cards available. You might remember when they came out. Yes, a lot of AIBs did also announce or launch their custom versions, but I mean, you would be hard pressed to find any of them on the market. And that's kind of what we already kind of knew was coming. So we don't want to offer a card that then is very hard to get when we know about it. The 2080 Ti is kind of like this story as well, but we know it will pick up at some point.
Yeah.
For the Vega, I mean, we didn't really have any information on to go on, so we decided not to do it.
And Navi is too far away. It's very difficult to. You know, too far away just means I don't know. Maybe it's next month, but I don't know. So and yeah, then we will reassess the situation again and check. You know, what kind of models, what kind of custom models also we're going to put on the market.
Yeah. So okay, guys, what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna leave the card at stock, and I'm gonna run a benchmark because I want you guys to see the performance you get by just doing this overclocking. And just to show you guys as well, I'm running, this should work, here we go. I'm running on 1080p.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. This is a screen that can do 144p, so WQHD. But it's because of the capture card, we can only do full HD on 60 FPS. So let's keep it at that. I'll leave Afterburner running. I'll put everything on stock. Here we go. So that's just this button here. It will always put everything back to default. And I'll use the superposition benchmark. This one is from Unigine. It's the latest benchmark. And I will put 1080p high. Here we go. And I will run it. So during this benchmark, you will be able to see on the screen a lot of detail about the card temperatures, the clock speeds.
So those numbers in the top, they're also Afterburner, right?
Yeah, these are Afterburner. I could disable them because I think the benchmark itself will show some of these numbers as well. So let's see. Here we go.
What kind of shortcut is that?
I put that one myself. It's Shift Q. In most games, that actually does nothing.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, you can customize the shortcut of enabling or disabling this overlay. So as you can see, you can just put it on and off.
Plisken, yes, you can watch this live stream later.
Yeah, you can rewatch it on YouTube as much as you want.
Any chance we're getting 2080 Ti with dual fans for the Gaming X series? No, for sure not. I mean, we already have. Which models do we have with dual fan? Arrow is one fan. For dual fan, we have
Ventus.
Oh, sorry,
Ventus we have.
Yeah, Ventus we have dual fan.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's it for the 2080 and 2080 Ti.
Yeah, because you know when we put the gaming on the market, it needs to resemble a certain performance segment and feature segment, and yeah, in the 2080 Ti we cannot do that with two fans.
No, we can't assure the best performance. So we want to make sure that there's no chance of thermal throttling, especially with the 2080 Ti, which is a beast of a GPU, guys. Yeah. That one needs to be kept really cool. And so the Trifuser is the way to go. Or three fans mostly. And
what game is this? This is a benchmark.
Yeah, this is the Unigine benchmark called Superposition, which is one of the latest. Actually, I think on the website they do claim that they already include some ray tracing. I don't think it's the ray tracing that Nvidia is pushing, not the RTX kind, but it is one of the more advanced benchmarks. So as you can see here,
to be honest, this is the first time I see this one as well. Yeah.
Oh, I've been using it for a while. But as you can see, guys, at the top right, utilization, I mean, it's like almost 100%. Temperature is up to, and this is auto fan curve, 68 degrees, so barely the fans are spinning. The megahertz is, the frequency is at 1920, and memory at 7000, which is the stock setting. But pretty good results already, upwards of 100 FPS, and this benchmark is quite taxing. So we'll just let it complete. There's 17 scenes it has to go through to complete the score. So just quickly let it do that. We're on scene 14 now. And so it will give you a score, but also an average FPS. And I think the average FPS is the thing that we should probably go on. You can already see it on the right side. Maybe it's a little bit small, but you can see the minimum FPS is 79.1. Average FPS is around 95.
I think they cannot see it because it's really small.
Probably.
On YouTube 1080p you can probably see it, but not on Facebook or Twitter.
But the benchmark is almost done. This is the last scene. So it's nearly finished. And in the overview screen after the benchmark, you will be able to see it quite clearly.
Adam is asking, is there any ray tracing benchmark application yet?
Not really.
No.
I saw, what was it, 3D Bark was working on
Yeah,
a ray tracing benchmark.
a lot of companies are working on this,
Yeah.
and not only benchmark, but also, of course, the games. But at this moment, they didn't hit the market.
No.
I saw some like 3D Mark, or how is it called now? The company.
Oh yeah, they changed name.
Yeah,
UL,
anyway.
I think.
Yeah, UL. They already have a YouTube movie how the benchmark will look like. But yeah,
It's not
no
available
ETA. Not sure when it's coming.
No.
But it's just a matter of
Anyway.
time.
So here are the results, guys. As you can see, the average FPS is well.
Should
Basically
we write this down?
We can call it 94. Well, you can do that, yeah. You want to write it down somewhere? I don't have paper here.
Yeah, also.
But you can maybe open a doc file or something. And
Notepad, of course.
maybe we can also save it here, guys. Don't tell Eric.
Ah.
Save a screenshot.
Okay. Shut up.
No, we'll just let Eric do the saving.
No,
for us.
yeah, should I?
Yeah,
You better open Notepad. I mean, then you can show everybody that, because I'm always cheating
well,
with
maybe
numbers.
wait. Maybe I can just put it here. Let's see.
Run one.
Yeah, run one. Okay. Again, guys, this is what folder? No, it doesn't work. Oh, we need to select the folder. Results. Oh, you need to first create a folder or something. Anyway, you do it. I can't be. I never save these things. I just write them down somewhere. Anyway, pretty much 94 FPS on average on this setting. But this is stock, guys. So this is the Gaming Z stock, or Gaming Z. So, like I told you, what we did is I already overclocked or ran the OC process scanner yesterday, and that's profile 1. So when I click that one, notice what happens. Of course, I put the core voltage, the possible core voltage, all the way to the max, power limit as well. Temperature limit is still 81. I'll put that one up to the max usually, but I mean 81 or 88 shouldn't make a difference. The core clock is set to curve. So you don't see a value. I believe it's like 165 megahertz higher, but you guys can judge for yourselves. The last run we had, I believe, 1920 megahertz during the test. The memory overclock is 0, and I've put the fan speed to 50, just because I want to make sure that it doesn't get hot at all. Again, at 50%, you don't even hear the fan, to be honest. So we'll just click apply.
It's 49.
50, 49. Yeah.
I needed to write down the score, so we need to be scientifically correct, right?
Pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So 1080p high, rerun the test with the overclock.
Yeah. So Bertus, what do you think of the overclock? What you get base steam? Not sure what you. So please make more clear what you're asking.
Good question.
Yeah, so Ruben, and I saw this question before, so I didn't answer. He's asking, will we see smaller form factors of this card of 2070? Yes.
There is one planned.
Yeah, not for 2080 and 2080 Ti, but for 2070 we're working on something. Not sure when. And also not sure how much smaller. It will be smaller, but
Aero ITX. If you remember Aero ITX from the past generations, it should be something similar along those lines.
Don't tell too much info.
Did I just spoil it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's indeed for Trident or Vortex, those kind of cases.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I should use this overlay and show you the clock speeds. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Also, temperature. Talk about it.
In the top right, yeah, I mean 62 degrees for 97, 90, 98% usage. But the core clock, more importantly, is already above 2000 megahertz. So it's 2010 at the moment. It might drop down a little bit depending on what happens.
The specs. Some people also ask for specs.
Oh, sure, yeah. So again, this is the full setup we're using. This benchmark mostly taxes, it's a graphics benchmark, so it will mostly tax the GPU. You can also see, by the way, in the orange overlay, the one that's switching on and off right now.
Hey, Martijn!
That one on the CPU, you see the CPU is only being stressed for about 25%, so that also shows you that it's not bottlenecked by the CPU at all. So GPU, let's let this one run as well. Remember last benchmark we had, what, call it 94?
I don't know.
You wrote it down. No, I'm pretty sure it was 93.83 or something like that.
Martijn wants more power.
Already the average FPS is up to 99.3 at the moment, but we still have some scenes to go, so let's give it a bit of time. And again, guys, this is just the GPU overclock, so the memory is still running at the stock 7000 megahertz. And I'm gonna spoil it a little bit here, but the memory overclock that you can achieve on this card is also quite insane, without having to do any crazy stuff. But the result is quite
okay,
crazy.
so Savage, we already talked about it earlier. He's asking, is it possible to build a high-end PC with 2080 Ti Gaming X Trio and upload some 10-minute gameplay on the latest games on the channel? Yeah, we talked about it. We need to find time. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Because we're not only doing the live stream during on Wednesdays. We have a lot more work to do. So we're helping developing products, the product materials, press releases, etc. We're making product videos. Maybe you saw them. But we did something like this in the past. So we will not only discuss this with our team in Taiwan, because I think it's a good idea. And I like gameplay, so hey, sign me up.
Who doesn't?
But you want to go? But anyway, we will look into it for sure, because we did it in the past. We call it always smooth gaming. So if you go to a YouTube channel,
you'll find some videos.
You look for smooth gaming videos, you will see some videos.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a result. It's already quite a bit higher. So we went from 94 FPS to 97 on average.
7.
So that's quite nice. Again, it is quite a little boost there.
You still remember the previous score?
Yeah, it was 93.83 or something like that.
No, the 12.
No, I don't remember that.
12.535.
Was it 12?
12.535.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So 12.535. Now it's close to 1300.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go for broke. So this we will leave at curve. So that's the curve that OC Scanner has done for us. The memory overclock, normally, what I've experienced, that you also need to, there's little steps and try to see what is what you can do, and then 200, maybe 300, 400. Yeah, that's already quite a bit daring. But I was quite surprised that basically, if I click the second profile, and here we go, that's the overclock I actually got. So I went all the way up to almost 1000 megahertz on top of the stock 7000 megahertz, which to me was quite amazing. And
it's like more than 10%, right?
That is pretty much that's way more than 10%.
That's like,
but that's purely the memory.
Okay.
So let's do it again. Let's run the test again with.
Did you apply
that overclock? I did. So it is set in there.
So if you see sparks,
if it doesn't run today, it could be. Let's see if we get lucky.
How many retweets to get a free PC? Oh, difficult.
Retweets. Couple of million.
Why you don't join the MSI gaming subreddit? I think that's one is managed by our USA team.
Yeah. So we are based in Europe. So probably managed by our USA team. All right. So the graphics megahertz already up to 2040. That might drop a little bit, but the memory you can see is close to 8000 megahertz. It's quite small letters at the top right, but temperature is pretty much 50 degrees right now. And well, as you can see, or at least I haven't been able to see any artifacts or anything, artifacts meaning, visual
what I'm
glitches.
going to do?
Because if you start seeing like visual glitches in the benchmark, that's probably an indication that you've pushed it too high, and that it's not stable. You're gonna...
Yeah, I have a new winner.
You have a new winner?
Yeah, new winner.
While we
Steam
wait
game
for the
code.
result?
Yeah, go to msi.com/2/insider. You will find a button, participate in a giveaway. Have a new winner, Witold Zulushka.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, congratulations. In the coming days, we will send you a game code of a Steam wallet code by email. So please also check your spam box, because sometimes it ends in your spam box.
It's well worth checking if you don't get it yet. Okay, so still running quite nicely. 53 degrees.
I will
54.
put the link again in the chat, so people, you know.
Yeah. Graphics frequency is up, still up to 2025. So it's running quite nicely. Still no visual artifacts, so that means it's still running quite stable and no issues whatsoever. So that basically also means that this is fine to run in a game.
We still have time for gameplay after this, or what did you plan?
Yeah, we can quickly show you how Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is again one of the most taxing games we've played recently.
So last week we played. We did a little bit dress up, and Peter did makeup, but we played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and you know, from our benchmarks, it's really a heavy game.
Yeah, it's one of the heaviest games that we've seen, and the weird thing is that, yes, it's heavy, but it also doesn't really use all the resources it has available. So this is the weird thing, and we can't really figure out why
we saw
that is.
some articles online. It's about overhead in the drivers or in the architecture. So maybe they will patch it, which basically means you get more FPS.
Yeah, so it should still maybe be optimized in the future, but for now it is one of the ridiculously heavy games. But I mean, this is 1080p, so we'll also be playing the game at 1080p, and you will see there that even that game on a 2070, easy peasy, you know.
ST61 won a game code. You had a question about this GTX 970 before anyone won a game code.
All right, guys, so
congratulations.
Here we go. We went from, what was our last score? You wrote it down. It was close to 1300, so we're again up 400 points.
Yeah, so we started at 12,535, then it was 12,975, and now it's 13,416.
So we're almost up 1,000 points. And in FPS, that means that we went from, at the start it was like 94, and now we're just above 100. So yeah, I mean, there you go. That's like 6% performance gain for free.
Yeah. Indeed.
And especially the memory, that's just insane. 1,000 megahertz on top of that. Again, this is like, because the slider actually doesn't go over 1,000 megahertz. So that maybe you can actually set it higher. I'm not sure. No, you can't. So yeah, pretty much the maximum overclock you can get, which is quite amazing. So I'll leave it on this, and then I'll show you some gameplay, I guess.
Yeah. Some person already asking, what is the latest graphics card right now? So maybe after finished.
This one.
Yeah, go back to the start and you'll see. Yeah, GTX 2070.
Let's see.
Oh,
maybe
I should go here.
Yeah, maybe I can show some more stuff on the screen.
Yeah, I'm switching away off the screen because maybe Peter forgot his password, needs to put it in.
Probably
it's
not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess.
Yeah, it's got a lot of zeros in it, but I'm not saying which order you should put them.
The other cards.
Which one?
No, yeah. Just give this one. I mean, these are the. Yeah, so these are the two cards we're talking about today. This one is only the heatsink. Show you like this. Anyway, so this one is the 2070 Aero, and this one is the 2070 Gaming Z. So Gaming Z is the new X. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's more than X.
Yeah, it's more than X. You know, it's faster than X. And yeah, we talked about it today, and it looks awesome. And this is the two-fan brother or sister, for that matter, for a Gaming X trio, which you see here, the 3-fan version.
Yep.
So I will leave them. Yeah, the webcams anyway, like this. Well, next time we need to build a way. You ready?
Pretty much. Just
loading.
Booting up the game now.
Yeah.
It did get patched since last week, so we're now we were on patch 1.0.2 and now we're on 1.0.3. Didn't read the patch notes really, but well, I briefly looked through it. Looked like they patched a couple of things there, but I don't think they really got around to doing addressing the performance issues yet, as far as there are performance issues. So yeah, let's just get right into the game. Let's see where we were.
Martijn, did you already participate in the giveaway?
By the way, I added on the screen in the little well, the overlay, as you can see here, the orange overlay here, the megahertz as well. So at the top you see the GPU, the megahertz is 2055 at the moment. You can watch that during the gameplay. Memory overclock as well. So this is just applying the overclock that we just benchmarked directly into the game and seeing what happens. As you can see, the GPU is actually not even stressed to 90, close to 90% even. So it's like 70-ish percent, 60 something. So actually this is quite easy on the GPU right now. And that's the thing I'm talking about, where...
Because you only get 50 FPS. 55, 60.
60-ish, yeah, exactly. So you would expect that, you know, it will make the GPU work harder to attain more FPS, but for some reason it's not really doing that at the moment. Maybe we can crank up the settings a bit.
Go to the gym. You need to. Cylon. I did it yesterday.
Let's see.
And later you can watch everything back.
So yeah, we can, let's see, the graphics quality, just put it on ultra, see what happens. We know about the volumetric clouds and the game will have to restart now.
Oh, okay, then I'm going to main screen again.
Yeah, see if we have any other questions. Game restart doesn't take that long, but you can see in the game the overclock is stable. It doesn't change, it doesn't show any artifacts, it doesn't glitch, it doesn't crash. So yeah, pretty good.
Los Zetas is asking about when the 2080 Ti in Europe comes out. Actually, it already is available, but the quantity, so the volume of 2080 Ti at this moment is really small. Most volume is at 2080. And for MSI, this means 2080. You're talking about the Duke and the Gaming X Trio, or Trio. And 2070 soon will also be available in volume. I think, when is it available for sales? In a few days' time, right?
What is the 17th? No, actually, the official on-shelf date for 2070 is today.
I thought the 20th. Oh, today. Yep. Okay,
yep,
so today.
But that doesn't mean that all shops already have stock. So
No.
Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Most of our stock goes by ship, and this takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So could be.
Yeah, somebody's asking for Fortnite. Sorry, we have a very small SSD on this system, only 128 gigabytes. So we had to choose one game, and actually we are not so good at Fortnite, and we like winning.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I just cranked up the settings, guys, and pretty much, I mean, FPS is still around the 60 mark, between 50 and 60. And as you can see, the GPU is still only being taxed at around 60%. So this is really something that needs to be addressed in the game. But I mean, 60 FPS is still pretty playable for a game like this. You know, an FPS shooter, I would say it's not good, but for a game like this, it's actually pretty okay.
Yeah, it really depends on what type of game, indeed.
Yeah. So let's just see if I can get a nice vantage point. We're in Athens here at the moment. As you can see,
Jeroen is asking, what is the price of a Gaming Z RTX 2070 in Holland? Well, good question. I don't know. Let me. You know what I normally do? I go to Price Watch in Holland. Let's check.
So I mean, pretty much all the details are on the highest settings right now on Ultra. So 2070 can still hold its own very well. It's not even being taxed, so you can expect one day, if they ever get around to, increasing the usage of all the hardware, you should probably expect to get around 80 FPS or something in this setting, I would expect.
So, I think Jeroen asked the question. Yeah, Jeroen Lammers. In Holland, at this moment, is priced for €680, including VAT. I see it listed 4 different shops. If you go to tweakers.net, to the price watch, you can find prices and availability.
By the way, you didn't switch back to the game, did you?
Oh, no.
So those guys didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go to the game. So I was talking about what I was seeing on the screen. Here you go.
Yeah. Sorry.
So as you can see, still, I mean, the GPU isn't even getting the fans. Well, they're spinning actually, because I set the fan speed by hand, manually. But yeah, I mean 40 something degrees. That's really cool for a GPU, and it's only being used like 70-ish%. Still the overclock at 2055 megahertz running in the game. Memory overclock very near to 8000 megahertz. Yeah, I mean this is a really good card. I really can't tell you otherwise. Yeah,
So,
sadly, I
so
don't
you're
have
already
other
playing
games on
half
here.
hour and nobody saw it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, but I mean, the details are quite amazing in this game.
Yeah. This is like those open world games. The textures are also very detailed.
Yeah, maybe I can send my Hawk off and you can see some stuff there.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, we have a bundle in case you buy an MSI monitor or an MSI Z390 Intel motherboard. You get a free code for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And last week we did a giveaway with it.
Yeah.
Today we have Steam codes. So I will pick one more Steam code. If there are any questions, please ask them in the chat.
As you can see, this is also a really nice game.
Shia27 is asking, is GTX 1050 Ti worth buying for 2018? Yeah, this really depends on first of all, the resolution you play and what kind of games you play. If you only play on 1080p, or maybe, yeah, 1080p, I think that's the basic resolution nowadays. And you don't play demanding games like FPS shooters or something, like strategy, you know, strategy FPS are not really that important. You don't play competitive where FPS is also not important, and you don't want ultra settings in games. I think with 1050 Ti you can play a lot of games. There are a lot of websites, you know, which have benchmarks that you can compare the different VGA cards, not only based on FPS, but also based frames per second per dollar, you know, so how much dollar you need to spend to get more frames.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, pretty impressive stuff. Again, you know, a game, other texting games like Rise of the Tomb Raider, or sorry, Shadow of the Tomb Raider actually, that one might actually get a bit more out of this card, but especially for 1080p and even 4040p, what we showed you earlier, maybe you can show the benchmarks again. So if you, I think it's a nice close towards the end now as well. So 1080p again, you know, this is an average across a lot of games. I don't think they included Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or else the frame rates might have been a bit higher, lower here. Lower. But you know, across the board, 1080p, this card is basically overkill. It can handle anything you throw at it. 1440p, I think is a sweet spot for this card. Handles it really well, upwards of 90 FPS, which is for most games really good. On ultra settings, by the way, also all the things tested at ultra. And for 4K, I mean, it's doable, but it's not really where this card shines. That's also where the memory bandwidth kind of kicks in, and where a higher end card like a 1080 Ti, remember guys, 1080 Ti has 11 gigs of memory, whereas this 2070 has 8 gigs. Even the 2080 has 8 gigs of memory, but it does outperform the 1080 Ti. And then, of course, it doesn't get any better than the 2080 Ti. So that is the ultimate 4K high-resolution card at the moment. Yeah. There's nothing that can touch it.
So I think that's it for this week. I still have another game code to give away, and the lucky winner is Toshinori Hirata.
You love
congratulations.
Those names.
Yeah. Well, okay, you do it.
No.
Okay.
You already did it.
Yeah, so congratulations with the game.
Congratulations, my dude.
Yeah, we will send you in the coming days an email with Steam wallet code. So next week we're going to talk about something totally different. We're going to talk about our X299 Creation motherboard. And this is built for designers, for content creators. So we have some people here in the studio who are going to talk about
some professionals.
Yeah, well, you know, about video editing, about hopefully 3D rendering. Yeah. Maybe we have a ZBrush artist, and we're going to actually. We are still working on getting everything on time here, but maybe we also run a benchmarks with 5 to 7 M.2 SSDs. So this will be massive performance. So we're talking about 18 core CPUs, about 7 M.2 slots, which you can run in RAID 0, 2.5 gig. I'm not going to talk too much. That's all for next week.
This is one question that I want to know. Can you play games on it as well?
You can also play games, but we're not going to talk so much about gaming, but you can also play games on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next week, Wednesdays, 4 o'clock CET. Bye-bye.
See you next week.